Islam Makhachev is turning heads ahead of his potential debut in the welterweight division, and the latest whispers from his training camp have added even more intrigue to what promises to be an exciting matchup against Jack Della Maddalena. The buzz around Makhachev's rumored fight with Della Maddalena at UFC 322, potentially in Madison Square Garden, has caught the attention of MMA enthusiasts worldwide. But there's one particular detail that's standing out more than anything. Makhachev has been training with none other than Georges St-Pierre, the legend himself, as he prepares for this challenge in a new weight class. For a fighter making the jump from lightweight to welterweight, working with one of the best to ever do it seems like a move to solidify his legacy further. Makhachev's move to welterweight, coming after a dominant reign in the lightweight division, has opened up a whole new set of questions. For years, Makhachev's weight cut to 155 pounds was a grueling process, one that many believed had taken a toll on his body. The fact that he's now bulking up for the 170-pound limit has caught the attention of those who have trained with him, like Luke Rockhold. Rockhold, who's worked alongside Makhachev during their time at the American Kickboxing Academy, has noticed a significant change in Makhachev's physique. Rockhold commented that Makhachev seems much bigger than when they last trained together, and the impact of this increased size could be pivotal in his fight against Della Maddalena.
Do you see him beating JDM to win that welterweight title?
That's a tough fight. That's a very tough fight. It's going to be interesting. You know, I think those are my three favorite fighters in the UFC right now. We go Islam, Topuria, and JDM. JDM's he's fun to watch. So, I mean, that's going to be a great fight. You know, he's no slouch at wrestling, but you have a guy that's wrestled his whole life and grappled his whole life versus JDM, who's kind of like, he's secondary on that, but, you know, you never know. He's a bigger guy. So, you know, we'll see how Islam, how he bulks up and how he looks. He looks a lot bigger than what I remember. I used to train with him forever. So, I mean, he's definitely grown. You know, we'll see how he carries the weight.
Makhachev's move to 170 pounds is undoubtedly a bold one, but it's not without its risks. He vacated his lightweight title earlier this year, signaling his intention to move up a division. However, there's an ongoing debate about how well his grappling will adapt to a bigger and stronger opponent in Della Maddalena, who has proven his mettle in the welterweight division. Shael Sonnen believes that if Makhachev loses to Della Maddalena, it would complicate his return to 155 pounds. The lightweight division has evolved, with new fighters now ruling the roost, and Makhachev could find it difficult to reclaim his title if he were to falter in this new weight class. The UFC's lightweight division is no longer the same one that Makhachev left, and his return might not be as straightforward as many expect.
Islam is headed to Madison Square Garden to fight Maddalena. According to Khabib, the only way you are going to get Islam and Ilya is if Jack wins. If Jack is to win, where does that take him? The reason you can't answer that question, nobody's expecting Jack to win. That's a problem for selling out the Garden, except you have a reality, and the reality is Jack is one hell of a hard fight, and the only way you can make money is with an anticipation. I'm just asking you, is that a main event at Madison Square Garden? Yeah, I sure think so.
The key issue, according to Sonnen, lies in the sheer challenge of facing Della Maddalena. Though Makhachev is currently one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in the UFC, Della Maddalena isn't an easy opponent by any stretch. The Australian stand-up game has been a highlight of his career, and he's not afraid to trade punches with anyone in the welterweight division. What sets Della Maddalena apart, according to many observers, is his toughness and his ability to handle adversity. If Makhachev loses to Della Maddalena, Sonnen predicts that Makhachev's career could enter an uncertain phase, one where he might have to consider whether to drop back down to 155 or continue his climb in the more competitive welterweight division.
I knew that JDM and Islam has been announced. I think that Jack right now is the most underappreciated champion in the organization. I believe they view him as an interim champion. I think that they're going to be very surprised how well Jack sells, and I think that Jack is on a wonderful opportunity to not only defend his belt, to gain esteem with the audience and the organization. I think he's in a spot to chase down Topuria for that #1 pound for pound.
If Della Maddalena manages to pull off the upset, it would be a massive moment for his career. His dominant win over Belal Muhammad to capture the welterweight title earlier this year was a testament to his striking prowess and all-around abilities. But moving into a fight against a grappling machine like Makhachev presents a different kind of challenge. Former UFC middleweight contender Yoel Romero has been vocal about how Della Maddalena's skill set could play into this matchup. Romero has praised Della Maddalena's cardio, striking, and overall fight IQ, acknowledging that while the Australian isn't known for his wrestling, his well-rounded nature could give Makhachev problems. This isn't a fight where Della Maddalena is a significant underdog. He's proven his worth in the welterweight division and is now ready to take on the best.
Yoel Romero gives his honest take. Yoel Romero just shared his thoughts on a potential showdown between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena, and it's a must-hear. Romero believes that Maddalena, while being a big 170-pounder, might face a tough challenge against Makhachev's superior grappling. Do you think Jack's striking can beat Makhachev's grappling?
Others like Jorge Masvidal have also expressed concerns about Makhachev's potential struggles at 170 pounds. Masvidal believes that while Makhachev was dominant at lightweight, the weight cut took a toll on him. Now that he's moving up, Masvidal thinks Della Maddalena's aggression and finishing ability could be the perfect weapon to exploit any weaknesses Makhachev may have in his new weight class. It's a sentiment shared by many fans who see this fight as a real test of Makhachev's adaptability and his ability to carry his skills into a new division.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound for. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I'm leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight, man.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Belal.
Belal has the best cardio in MMA, but Belal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Belal never stops. A dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. You know, Islam's level of wrestling is above. His stand-up game is improving. I don't think he could go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds go on later and later, he could do.
Former flyweight champion Demetrius Johnson is confident that Makhachev's pressure and ability to control the pace of a fight will eventually overwhelm Della Maddalena. Johnson believes that Makhachev's relentless takedowns and powerful knee strikes will wear Della Maddalena down, forcing him into uncomfortable positions where Makhachev can dominate.
Who you got? Ilya Islam.
I've got Makhachev.
I got Makhachev as well.
And I've got Makhachev second round TKO with a knee in the
Oh, yeah, you going bad rounds.
Yeah, I think he'll shoot a couple takedowns. Ilya will stuff it. Ilya will catch him a few times and people will go ooh and ah. And then when they clash again, I think Makhachev will go grab him. Ilya will think, oh, he's shooting again. Tie clinch, bang, body, knee to the head. Ilya's all of a sudden stumble, downhill from there. I think he beats Oliveira with a body shot though.
However, others like Gilbert Burns believe that Della Maddalena's grappling defense could be the key to making this a competitive fight. Burns has praised Della Maddalena for his skills on the feet and thinks that with the right approach, he could neutralize Makhachev's wrestling and keep the fight standing.
What did you think about the Islam vacating the belt and going up and immediately getting a shot at the welterweight bout? And what do you think about that? And how different is that fight going to play out than what we saw versus Belal?
That's going to be a great fight. Islam is working very hard. He's being vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's big. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know. I think he was a little okay. If you're going up, we gotta. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. And yeah, I like him moving up. I proving himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of crack the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think. and JDM has a clear shot on beating Islam, you know?
Ilia Topuria also has an interesting take on how Della Maddalena can combat Makhachev's style. Topuria suggests that attacking the body early could be an effective way to slow Makhachev down and stop him from engaging in his usual takedown-heavy approach. By targeting Makhachev's midsection, Della Maddalena could potentially sap some of his strength, forcing Makhachev to rethink his game plan and adjust. This type of subtle strategy could be crucial in a high-stakes fight like this, where even small adjustments can make a significant difference.
The advice, like, he has to work the straight body shots, because that takes away the intentions of the takedown. If he works with the straight body shots, he's gonna stop his intentions of the takedowns. And he's doing a great job in the striking. I like how he fights.
Belal Muhammad, who recently lost to Della Maddalena, also weighed in on the matchup, emphasizing that Makhachev's grappling might just be too much for the Australian. Muhammad, who has first-hand experience dealing with Makhachev's relentless control on the ground, believes that Makhachev's ability to dictate the pace of a fight will be the deciding factor. He notes that Makhachev has shown time and time again that when he takes control of the ground game, it's nearly impossible to reverse the momentum. If Makhachev can get Della Maddalena on the mat, it could be a long night for the Australian.
How do you think Islam versus JDM goes down? Honestly, I think Islam will probably take it down. Like, Islam's wrestled really good. Like, even with me, I like really committed to it, I took it down. Their team's so good at like hacking in a game plan and sticking to it. You said that you kind of abandoned the game plan a little. Do you think if you got a rematch, you would change the game plan a bit? No, I mean, honestly, I think I won three rounds, but you have to go out there and make it more clear. When you get into the cage and you're fighting, right, you get into that, oh, like, all right, I feel like striking. Let's keep going. I was doing well with it. Let's keep going. If your coach is trying to get you to focus on the game plan again, it's like, man, I'm doing well with it. You're thinking you're doing better than you are. Every fight, you gain something from it, right?
On the flip side, Charles Oliveira, another fighter who has fought Makhachev, sees things differently. Oliveira believes Della Maddalena's striking could give Makhachev a real problem, especially if the Australian is able to stay patient and pick his shots. Oliveira is keenly aware of Makhachev's grappling prowess, but believes that if Della Maddalena can avoid engaging on the ground, his striking could wear Makhachev down over time. However, Oliveira also knows that staying on the feet is easier said than done when you're facing a fighter as skilled as Makhachev, who has the ability to close the distance and drag his opponents into deep waters.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Islam vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Islam agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
One fighter who seems to have some doubts about Della Maddalena's rapid rise in the welterweight division is Stephen Thompson. Thompson, a longtime veteran of the division, feels that fighters like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary have earned their shot at the title, and Della Maddalena's quick ascent to the top might feel somewhat premature to some. While Thompson respects Della Maddalena's skills, he points out that moving from a win over Belal Muhammad to fighting a dominant champion like Makhachev is a huge leap. It's a point that many fans have echoed, wondering whether Della Maddalena is truly ready for such a significant step up in competition.
Yeah, who do you think wins that fight between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena?
Well, first off, I gotta say, if I was Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Gary or somebody that is right there who's really worked hard to get there, I'd be pretty pissed. Yeah. Because, you know, this guy JDM just got the title, and then he's giving somebody else a shot at what I've earned the right to have, you know, which is the title shot. Like, give JDM a shot at, you know, give him one or two more guys. If he beats them, then give him somebody outside the division. But I would be kind of pissed. I would be kind of upset that they're giving this guy immediately somebody from 155 division. Now, I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachev. Bigger guy, somebody who won the title from somebody with a similar style in Belal Muhammad. Mm-hmm. I do believe Islam Makhachev striking is a lot better than Belal Muhammad's, but their pressure, their cardio, their wrestling background, fairly similar. Obviously, I think one would be better than the other, but he's faced somebody a lot exactly like him. So I think it would be a tough fight for Islam for sure.
As the fight approaches, it's clear that there are a lot of questions hanging in the air. Will Makhachev's wrestling be enough to control the bigger Della Maddalena, or will the Australian's striking and size prove too much for Makhachev to handle? It's a matchup that could redefine the careers of both fighters, and as the UFC world watches closely, it's sure to be a thrilling contest whenever it takes place.